Josh, question. Assuming that The Rock is even going to be at WrestleMania. If The Rock has a third member, who do you think that third member is?
Gotta be either Solo or Jacob.
Okay.
They've kind of dropped Solo off the storyline ever since he lost to Roman. So maybe it's Rock, Cena, and Solo, and they create a new type of bloodline. That's how they get Roman Rock at WrestleMania 42.
Okay.
This is my thought process on that.
Okay. I was thinking, so I was watching some videos and I've seen a lot of people say, one person had said it's potentially Logan Paul. You know, whenever he had the interaction with AJ Styles on Raw, after he did his finisher, he was kind of had his arm around like they were hanging out. And then he did the throat cut and someone had made reference, maybe it'll be Paul. So Paul at the time while he was doing that, was wearing black. Then they showed pictures of Seth Rollins saying he looks like he's going through this change, this metamorphosis, gearing towards a different character, feuding with Punk and Roman. And they were saying it might be him. And the picture that they used, and if you've noticed that, at least not on last week's Raw, but he's been wearing a lot of black.
Yeah.
And so they got me thinking, I was going, if he's making those connections, like an eye caught that maybe that they're wearing black, I think about The Rock, and when he comes out, he's got like black shades. He's got black in his tire. And so then I started thinking about who else wears black. Does anyone come to mind? Who's been wearing black for the past couple of weeks? Who's changed his appearance? Who's had maybe a different color in every city he's gone to?
I mean, Seth definitely has.
Yeah, he's been wearing a lot of black. I was thinking Jey Uso. The past 2 weeks,
Uso goes from that'd be a huge turn,
like a huge heel turn. I don't.
He's so hot right now.
I know, dude. I don't think that they'll do it because I think they probably want to ride this babyface Yeet Mania thing. But how crazy it would be, because he's definitely he even lost the Yeet glasses. He's wearing Ray-Bans. He's lost color in a sense of like physical attire expression, and it could be just he's wearing black because he's mourning the beat down of his brother. But how crazy would that be if it was Jey?
It'd be nuts. It makes sense for Logan to go because that'd be like The Rock likes to flaunt like he's on the board of directors, and with how Prime sponsors WWE, so it makes sense from a storyline, from like a business storyline.
Because The Rock, sell your soul. He was telling Cody, I can get you far above what wrestling can give you. That's really been the only connection that John Cena has had. He's already branching out and doing movies. He's doing commercials. He's doing all this other stuff that branches outside wrestling. Logan Paul is his own business. He's already a millionaire. He doesn't need to wrestle. He's honestly probably doing this for advertisements and really probably just having fun with doing it. But yeah, I would think Logan Paul
definitely to show up more. But I don't know what they're doing with Logan Paul because he says he's full time, but he still barely shows up. So.
No, but that finisher though.
It's sick. That's a sick finisher.
What? The little flip into a DDT? Oh my God.
Nuts.
It's nuts. It looks so good. It's a good, finishers are great whenever they just are fast and in a pop. Like the stunner's good because it's just a pop, quick pop. Logan Paul's, what is it called? The pulverizer.
Pulverizer, that's right. That's a good name to it. It's very catchy.
Yeah. It's a really good finisher. It's a good pop.
What's going on, y'all? This is Alexander. You are plugged into the Nerd Companion.
What's going on, y'all? This is Alexander from the Nerd Companion coming at you with the second WrestleMania episode coming to the week of WrestleMania. I'm super pumped. How pumped are you, Josh?
I'm stoked, man. Like you said, it's WrestleMania week. We got a whole week full of wrestling packed into a few days. NXT, SmackDown, Hall of Fame, all that stuff. Plus WrestleMania 1 and 2. Gonna be a good week.
Josh, you're obviously my special guest on this episode. Give us a quick introduction to who you are.
Like you said, my name's Josh. I've been a wrestling fan since back in the Attitude Era, growing up watching Stone Cold, Undertaker, The Rock.
So before we started recording, we were briefly talking about, the relevancy of each wrestler in this triple threat in the main event of night one between Reigns, Rollins, and CM Punk, and why was the favor over who was going to be in whose corner in regard to Paul Heyman. And you were basically saying like you didn't anticipate that was the favor, right? And I would
No,
totally.
I anticipated involving some type of championship or physical involvement
Yeah.
with Paul Heyman. So, but I mean, maybe there's an undertone of when he says "you be in my corner" means getting some type of like physical involvement into the match. Whether it's like doing what the people on the sidelines do, either distracting the ref or putting a foot up on the rope or something like that.
I'm sure we can get that. And I think we might see the teetering of Heyman, having to decide in that moment. So, I mean, he's made his decision. He told Reigns, I'm sorry, my tribal chief, I can't tell him no. You know what I mean? But
maybe
I'm sure
maybe that's the start of how Roman kind of fades off, is that Paul does something more than just like walk out with Punk and betray Roman. Ever since the fight for the tribal chief with Solo, the bloodlines just kind of faded out, and they're trying to slowly fade out the bloodline segment into retirement. So maybe this is like the final push or the final nail in the coffin or something.
Roman Reigns definitely did say when Paul Heyman was inducted into the Hall of Fame is that once Paul Heyman stopped being his wise man, you weren't going to see the tribal chief. What that meant, I mean, that could have meant anything. That could have just meant a reinventing of Roman Reigns' character. He's no longer going to reference being the tribal chief, or that could be just physical departure outside the WWE.
I mean, looking back at it, that, at least in my opinion, that was probably the whole bloodline segment from start to the finish of it was probably the best storyline WWE has ever done, with all the intricacies involved and everything, and all the people brought in and everything too, and how it just it rose to the top. And like every great kingdom, it eventually falls down and collapses.
I mean, we'll find out. There's the wrestling fans I feel like are very impatient.
Wrestling fans could be some of the worst critics.
Yeah.
Especially when you start talking about WWE or AEW.
Yeah. Yeah. So that side of me, that wrestling fan side of me definitely is the more impulsive side, because that's initially what I'm saying when things are not going the way I thought they would or not wanting them to go. But then I kind of sit back and go, you know what, just let it cook and wait to see how it finishes to then decide if that was, the right thing to do. And that's what I'm trying to tell myself with this story. There might be something.
I know whenever Roman goes off, it's gonna be sad whenever he goes off and they truly do finish off. Either if he retires as the OTC or he drops the OTC.
Yeah. I definitely felt that way
in WWE.
Yeah. He really did do a lot for the company. I definitely felt that way because I definitely hated Roman whenever he was the champion. I mean, I didn't hate the guy, but I hated the character because he would only show up once a month, and I would tell myself, golly, someone just needs to take it off him so we can get a champion who's going to, fight all the time. And then whenever he finally lost, I feel like that's when things hit. You're going, wow, that's what all that was for, to feel
that build up.
Yeah, that filled up. And then you start to look past the character, who Roman Reigns is, behind the name, behind the character, who he is as an actual performer. You really put on a good show. And was there anything from the road to WrestleMania, from after Elimination Chamber or after Royal Rumble, that you particularly liked or disliked before we get into the card?
Dislike that they let Charlotte Flair come in out of nowhere and win the Royal Rumble.
Okay.
I feel like it took opportunities away from a lot of the other females out there that have been, killing it lately.
Who do you think should have won the Royal Rumble then?
Maybe a Bayley. She's one of those veterans.
That seems to be the consensus, right? Everyone's upset that Charlotte Flair came back and then she just gets this opportunity. She's the Nepo child, right? That's the argument. I think for me, I disliked that Charlotte won, but I think that was the point. It was to attract heat. When you said Bayley, I'm thinking in my head, face versus face, how boring it would have been to have, not boring, it would have been a great match, but how less interesting it would have been if you got face Cena versus face Cody Rhodes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It'll be a boring ass main event in WrestleMania. I think Tiffany wins, and maybe that's a push that they want to give Tiffany to kind of be the next one, since Charlotte Flair's kind of aging out, and seems like Becky Lynch is gone for good, at least for the significant future.
So we're going to go straight into the WrestleMania card for your predictions. My theories were pretty clearly stated on the last episode that dropped early yesterday morning, if you want to go back and listen to those. But I'll bounce off of whatever you talk about I might just give a condensed version of what I was saying. But it looks, as the card stands today, according to CBS Sports, I imagine that the World Heavyweight Championship match, Gunther versus Jey Uso, is going to be the first match of night one. Who do you got winning?
It's got to be Jey.
Got to be Jey?
Like, Jey's got so much hype going on right now. So I think Jey brutalizes Gunther.
You think it'll be a clean victory?
I think so. I think that in order to legitimize Jey as a champion, he needs to pin Gunther cleanly. Because if he were to cheat, then that would just kind of disregard everything he's been saying about people underestimating him, thinking that he can't do it, and giving credibility to everything that Gunther's been saying to him. So I think he wins cleanly.
Yeah.
I think Gunther comes up, gets bloodied up too, and for some revenge against Jimmy.
You think it's going to be a long drag out brawl, or do you think it's going to be like a quick destroyed Gunther and just get it like just really intense, like maybe 10 really good spots, and then just have everyone like, what the hell? And just yeeting all over the place. Like, what do you think it looks like?
Nah, it's going to be a long match.
Okay. Sounds good. I like it.
Gunther's
okay.
I think it's a long brawl.
Okay. I can dig it. Next match, we have the Mexican legend, the much loved by Mexico, El Grande Americano versus Rey Mysterio.
The luchador of the century, El Grande Americano.
Breaking news, it's been leaked. WWE leaked who it was.
Listen, if you know who it is, Chad Gable, I'm going to say you're full of shit.
No.
Okay.
I thought it was Roman Reigns. It's Roman Reigns, right?
I thought it was.
Right?
No. It's
who shall not be named.
Exactly. It is definitely not Chad Gable.
Is this like a demasking match, or is this just a regular match? As I understand, I don't think it's a demasking match.
I don't think it's.
You haven't heard anything?
I don't think it's like a mask for mask, but I think someone's getting demasked, and it's not going to be Rey Mysterio.
No way. If anyone's going to demask Rey Mysterio, it's going to be Dom, and it'll be a send-off match. It'll be Rey's.
Talking about a match, like a match, father-son for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah, it'll be if Rey wins, Dom has to cut his hair and shave his mustache, and then they have to shave it bald and like do everything clean, even eyebrows. And then if Rey loses, he'll have to take off the mask. That'd be the only way you can. Give me Baby Dom. That'd be the new name, Baby Dom. Who do you got winning for that match?
Rey Mysterio. Well,
you got Rey?
Unfortunately, every legend needs to die at some point, and it's unfortunately El Grande's time.
He's had too long of a reign in Mexico. He's too big of a legend.
He's dominated the top for too long.
I love how you're color commentating right now. This is awesome. Yeah, I think El Grande Americano is going to win, and I think it'll just be like a dirty win, just to get more heat. Just to kind of build something and cook it. I really like that they're taking a comedic approach to this match. It's not a match that's trying to be taken so seriously like every other match that's on the card. And it'll be a nice, fun match to watch. I'm excited for it. The next match, we have the World Tag Team Championships, the War Raiders versus the New Day.
New Day all day.
That's what I said. So people were speculating on the tag team titles not really being defended on big PLEs. And people were going, why would Street Profits not be able to defend their titles on WrestleMania when those title belts have more tag teams in that division on SmackDown, and then have, the World Raw Tag Team Championship belts be fought on WrestleMania, because they don't really have a stronger division on that side. And my thought process was the reason why they have that match, the War Raiders versus New Day at WrestleMania, is because they're going to give New Day their win at WrestleMania. That's what makes me believe that New Day is going to win. Do you think we'll see a Big E appearance in this match? Maybe ringside, maybe something.
I think it'd be hilarious if the New Day were to, for some reason, not win, if it was because Big E came out and screwed them over.
Now, I think Or
maybe it's a long game. Maybe Big E comes and screws it over, and it turns out he is clear to compete, and they were just playing the long game on it.
Which would be good, because if you get news that, people are medically cleared and they're coming back, right? If there was any leak that Big E's been cleared to perform, we would know that he's coming for WrestleMania. So it would be in anyone's interest to lock down that ship and make sure that information did not get out, because that would be a huge pop, because everyone really believes that he's not coming back. And that may be the case, which further has me believing that, Big E coming back would be a ginormous pop. Like there would be a nuclear explosion in Vegas. Next match, it's going to be pretty brutal. Jade Cargill, Naomi, first women's non-stipulation match at a WrestleMania. Only took 41 of them to get there. It's crazy to think that that's the case. They've never had a women's match that didn't have a stipulation. That seems crazy to think for 41 years it took for that to happen.
Jade just destroys Naomi.
I would agree.
Jade is just such a beast.
Yeah, I think she's
I think she would have done good with some time in NXT, because she definitely had a lot of botches early on.
I would say that's her problem, is that her positioning and with matches where she should be when things happen. I mean, she definitely needs some work, but athletically she has it. And when they fine tune it,
absolutely jacked.
Yeah, you could wash laundry on her abs. You literally
100%.
But whenever they fine tune her to perfection, she's gonna be on top for a.
Although I was kind of hoping, a little part of me, that it wasn't Naomi. I don't know. I've never been that big on Naomi. I was kind of hoping it was going to be Bianca, because I think that would have been even a better match, is those two fucking meatheads.
That's going to happen
out in a fucking street fight in WrestleMania.
I guarantee you that happens at next WrestleMania. They're gonna let that story cook. They're gonna let that story cook. I think the moment Jade Cargill was even talked about coming to WWE, her and Bianca was already going to be one of her pinnacle moments in her career.
Yeah, that's going to be such a good match. Oh my God.
I guarantee it. Calling it now, next WrestleMania, that's going to be a match. I guarantee you. Next match, your favorite, Charlotte Flair versus the women's champion, Tiffany Stratton. This whole build-up since Road to WrestleMania has been hot mess express, hot soup sandwich.
This has been just the trash talking has been.
It's been cringy. I was like,
oh, you went there, you didn't do. You just talked about our marriages.
Do you think that they talk about what they're going to bring up before they go out there? I would assume that they do. Is it okay if I talk about this? Yeah, sure. Let's run with it. Or do you think they just go out there and just go ham?
I mean, I always assume they'd be because they're both, since with the experience of Charlotte Flair, what's off limits to you? Okay, cool. Everything else is fair game.
I mean, if that's the case, then.
But I think Tiffany Stratton wins. I think Charlotte's purely there to give Tiffany a push, because since she took the belt off of Nia, there's not really much females that are there at that level yet to be able to, for WrestleMania caliber event, which is kind of sucks, because it's such a big women's division that a couple of your top performers are already locked up with the Raw title. Becky's obviously gone, and it makes zero sense for Bayley to fight Tiffany. And then seems like there's a skill gap after that.
It would be a boring build too, like face versus face. Like we were talking about before, like face Cena versus face Rhodes is not interesting.
If not Charlotte Flair, who's the next person besides Bayley? Like the only one that is Nia, but they've already done her and Nia.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it was probably the best decision to have Charlotte win. As much as it pains me to say it, to get the hype that you want, there was no other choice. There's no other choice.
Yeah.
I have Charlotte winning, honestly. And the only reason why I say that is because I don't know what Charlotte would do if she lost. What is she going to do? You know what I mean? You came back. You got this opportunity. What does the character Charlotte Flair do after that?
I mean, what's there left for her to do? She's already, she's in her late 30s. She's got the record for the most women championships.
Late 30s. I mean, that's hitting to me, I feel like that's hitting.
Yeah.
You're at your peak. because you're still athletic enough to do the job, and you have that much experience in the field to know exactly what to do. You're not missing spots. You know how the business works. Your promos are refined.
Like maybe like 10, 15 years ago, getting up to your 40s would have been like towards the end of your career, but with how things are
with sports medicine,
with how sports medicine is now and everything, is just, that's like your halfway point basically. Hell, Ric Flair is wrestling into his 70s,
which is a mistake. But when you love the game, you never want to leave, baby.
Exactly.
When you have a hard time keeping your gators down and you're high flying, I mean, it's hard to leave that.
High flying, 2-time and wife stealing,
having a hard time keeping these gators down. Yeah, that's hilarious. Next match, we have the triple threat, the fight for the soul of this industry. Roman Reigns versus CM Punk versus Seth Rollins.
I think Punk wins with the assist from Paul Heyman.
Are you choosing Punk because you just think that that's how it's going to work? Or are you choosing Punk because, you prefer that wrestler? Or are you choosing Punk because you think that he needs the win most?
I think he needs the win. He needs to get his title shot, and that sets up for a Cena Punk SummerSlam, because whoever wins that match is basically guaranteed a title shot. But I think Punk wins.
How do you think he wins? Because this match right here warrants more of a, like, yeah, Punk wins, but so you say Punk wins. Like, what does that look like for you? Is Paul Heyman involved? Why?
Paul Heyman, regardless of how it gets involved, that definitely has to happen, because that's the only way that it makes sense for the favorite to actually make sense, is that Paul has to physically get involved. I think he beats Seth. I think he pins Seth Rollins, hits Seth with a GTS to continue the Seth Punk storyline.
That right there is,
because I don't see how Roman and Punk, doesn't make sense for them to do anything, progress their storyline. They don't really have a storyline.
This almost seems like the finale, like the end game for them, because they're like this. Paul Heyman is the only common denominator for these two. You know what I mean?
And then I guess my outlier would be The Rock interferes. The Rock interferes, takes Roman out the match, and then Punk takes out Seth and wins.
What is Rock's motivation for taking out Roman?
OTC. He wants to be OTC.
Okay, I got you. Okay,
he's one of the original Samoans. Here's a kicker. I just thought of this random, completely, probably not going to happen, but just for shits and giggles.
Okay, shits and gigs. Let's go.
Punk is the third person.
Like, he's gonna
Punk says when he first comes back, Punk says, "I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money." Who better to pay Punk than The Rock? Probably like 99.9% not going to happen.
But I have stuff to add to this. I like this. Keep going.
99.9% not going to happen. But not only did it, Punk steals Paul, Rock screws Roman, and then that sets up and then Rock Roman at WrestleMania 42.
Okay. So here's some things that I've noticed now that you've said that could argue that this actually is very possible. You stated that CM Punk says, "I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to make money." The Rock has offered opportunities to make money, but he's here for money and he's not here for friends. What has he been calling Paul Heyman this entire time he's made his favor known and got his best friend? And he said he's not here for friends, but he's calling him his best friend. That's his huge favor, but you're not here for friends. So this is actually like a good argument for a loose story if it doesn't go that way. You know what I mean? It could be like a character flaw, like, y'all messed that up. You know what I mean? Where it's those fine details that matter. And for someone like CM Punk, who is very premeditated with the things he says, it would be actually very disappointing. Even though it doesn't make sense for CM Punk being like the anti-authority character to, you know what I mean, to do something like that. He did say he's not here for friends. He is here to make money. So that raises very interesting points. And I like that. And the fact that he talked very badly about John Cena and The Rock with the Elimination Chamber following Raw, which was one of the best promos I ever heard him spit.
Oh, it was good. So good.
When he was on the table saying all that stuff. You're going to make a wish that I didn't get my hands on you, making reference to the Make-A-Wish Foundation with John Cena. Like, he's so very thoughtful with his delivery on what he says. He's one of the greats with promos. So that could be his double agent. You know what I mean? Like, that could be the red herring that he's telling the crowd, I'm not doing this, which will really push Punk to be this huge heel. Like, you betrayed the crowd. You lied to them. You've been saying you're doing this. It's like, actually, no, I told you from the beginning.
Right.
I'm
You
here
just didn't
to
listen.
make money. You didn't listen. That's good. I like that. That's pretty cool. So I'm sure you've heard the rumors that, the Paul Heyman is going to side with Seth Rollins. I'm sure you heard all that, right? I was a firm believer that was going to happen until Seth Rollins told him that now you owe me a favor. Because it just seems so obvious that they were going to go that direction. Like once you say it, and it's like, once you say it, now I don't believe it. Interesting. I have Seth Rollins winning. I think Seth Rollins needs to win the most. To me, prior to this whole, I'm not here to make friends, I'm here to make money. I think that Seth needed to win the most. He was the common denominator in regard to the hatred of these two kinds of wrestlers who are part-timers, right? Who just kind of get what they want and leave. Other than Paul Heyman being there, Roman is almost the odd man out because his feud with CM Punk is very new.
I feel like they just threw CM Punk in there just because there was no other matches that made sense.
To get CM Punk
is such a ticket draw. CM Punk is such a ticket draw that they had to throw him in something because, like, it makes sense for him to continue his feud with CM Punk because Roman Reigns, interrupted that cage match. But there's nothing tying Roman and Punk.
Other than Paul Heyman, which is a weak-ass paper.
But so I would have loved to see, and I hope we get it down the line now, but I would have loved to see Roman and Seth just have like a no-holds-bar, last man standing, whatever type of crazy stipulation that there is.
Yeah.
And settle their differences from the Shield. Going back to, when Roman took the shot at Seth at WrestleMania 40 instead of going for Cody, when he has like a revenge thing that, Seth is still on your mind type of thing.
Okay.
And then what Seth did at Royal Rumble and then carrying on into Elimination Chamber would have been a huge build up. And that just kind of the build up that reminds me of is going back to, the Rock and Stone Cold build up to their WrestleMania. I don't know if you ever see that little compilations videos of Rock and Austin.
I've seen a bunch of them. Okay, so consider this.
Okay.
I'm trying to gather my thoughts. CM Punk says he's not there for friends, he's there for money. Okay. He draws, because Punk is such a chaotic, anti-organization kind of character, he draws, because now I'm thinking, okay, he's going to be a villain. He draws Heyman away from Roman because he knows that Roman not in his corner is going to kind of deregulate Roman Reigns and not have him at his best. He's going to kind of take Roman out of his comfort zone. He's going to betray Paul Heyman because he's there for money, not for friends. That's my argument for CM Punk. Roman Reigns stated in Paul Heyman's inauguration to the Hall of Fame that whenever Roman Reigns doesn't have his wise man, you're not going to see your tribal chief anymore. That left a margin of thought. What does that mean? Does that mean Roman Reigns leaves the WWE, or does that mean Roman Reigns becomes a different person? I think his name will be Roman Reigns, but he won't be the tribal chief. Because as you said earlier, they're kind of like simmering down this bloodline story, right? So if Roman has made the decision that now Heyman is gone, I'm no longer tribal chief, you could potentially see a unification between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns and kind of get this partnership, at least for a while. You know what I mean? Does that happen in this match? I don't know. Does that happen at SummerSlam? This is all a big fantasy book. I'm just all on the fly thinking. You could have another betrayal and really get that match later, have something cook. But having Punk take Roman is a catalyst for so many different things, which I found really interesting that you brought it up.
You know what? What about this here? Made me think. So you know how Seth keeps saying Punk is, basically a cancer to the industry.
Mm-hmm.
What if Seth was right, and that kind of, it's like subliminal messaging to if Punk joins The Rock.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I think that's like further. Well, yeah, it furthers your argument, right? So if what you're if what you're saying is that Punk will basically turn and go with The Rock, I mean, that's only proving Seth Rollins right. And that's like I told you so. I've been telling y'all. I've been telling the universe. I've been telling you, Roman. I've been telling everyone. Nobody listens. So to me, you saying that Punk is going to do that, it just makes sense. It just makes sense. So if they did that, you can't say it's a loose story. Like, no, everything's pretty airtight. You know what I mean?
Because it goes to, because everything, Punk having, or when Rollins also was saying, always having to clean up Roman's messes and stuff like that. Going back to that too. Now that I'm thinking about it, the more I actually like play this out, the more I want this to happen.
Guys, you heard it here first at the Nerd Companion. I've actually never heard this theory. I've heard people say that CM Punk's going to win, but I've never heard them explain like what that looks like. How does that happen? What are the ramifications? So, I mean,
it sets up for so much more. Like, if say The Rock gets involved, that obviously sets up for Roman Rock WrestleMania 42. That's easy. It continues the storyline with Seth and Punk that allows Punk to go up against Cena for the belt at SummerSlam.
You think Cena's going to win?
Cena gets number 17, dude.
I feel really good about it. That was a really good hash out. We made it make sense. WWE can give us a call. We can become writers.
Listen, I'll write for you. Oh, I'm excited to see how this turns out, because I think
I'm actually a little more excited about the match.
I think it's more than just a triple threat. There's going to be something. There's got to be something there.
Yeah, I'm actually more excited about the match right now than I was bringing up this match to you 5 minutes ago.
There's so many possibilities.
Yeah, I'm torn. Yesterday I had Seth Rollins, but after hashing out this conversation, I think I'm swerving to CM Punk. I like it. That's why these conversations are so good. Because the more you talk to like people with the different theories, like, man, no, that does make sense. That does make sense. Cool, man. I mean, that concludes night 1. We can get it to night 2. All right. WrestleMania Sunday night, night 2. First one I have here is AJ Styles versus Josh's favorite, Logan Paul. How do you feel about Logan Paul? Do you like him?
He is
as a character, not so much like who he is.
He's a good heel. He's a very good heel. He's got his athleticism is just unreal.
I agree.
He's got good mic skills and everything. His move set is phenomenal. If he was a full-time, if he was more, not even like full-time. He says he's full-time, but he's like a once every 6 month type of
He hasn't even wrestled since then, has he? I mean, he's wrestled one time.
Yeah. So
that's my only complaint with Logan Paul. I love him as a character.
I wish he would be there more, and then he would just kill it. Like if he was there more, I'd be a main, just shoot up the card and be a consistent main.
He could literally be holding the Universal Championship. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind. If he went full time and just went full send on it, I would say a year he could be the Universal Championship. That's so easy to do.
I'm not super feeling this match. It just doesn't kind of make sense to me.
Yeah.
It seems like it's just like randomly put together. So maybe because AJ Styles is towards the end of his career, so I don't see where what a win does for him, unless it sets him up to face it, unless it gives him a title shot in the next couple pay-per-views.
Well, I think anyone who beats Logan Paul automatically gets love because people just hate him so much, whether they hate him as a character or even just hate him in real life, or just hate him at the fact that he's just a part-timer who's a millionaire and does this for fun and doesn't need to do it. And people just hate that because they just hate that someone that hasn't been like wanting to do this her whole life is having their position taken away by someone like that.
I just don't see the angle of it unless they're just trying to using the Logan Paul name brand just to bring some more pop to the card. And
I definitely think that it's definitely a business decision
for him, but I just don't see where it goes for either of them after this.
I agree.
Unless
I had heard rumors that Logan Paul's contract is looking to come up, and there might be talk that there might not even be an interest to resign. I'm not sure how legitimate that is. That would be a disappointment for me because I feel like Logan Paul would, if he went all in, would be legendary. It'd be legendary.
He would easily rise up so far to the top. But I guess by prediction, I'm gonna go Logan Paul.
I got Logan Paul too.
Logan Paul beats AJ.
I think it's going to be an exciting match. I think you're going to
It'll be a
see
good
some
match.
crazy spots.
Mm-hmm. That sets up Logan to have the future challenge for the championship. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah, we'll see. Anything else to add to that match?
No. I think it's just a hype match.
All right. Next, we got the WWE Tag Team Championship match with Liv and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra. I'm not
feeling those. Like, I feel like where's the team? Where's the team for like
which team?
For Lyra? Like, it doesn't make like it just feels like they're randomly thrown together, Bayley and Lyra. They just wanted to throw the tag team match. I mean, I think Liv and Raquel win. There's not that many tag teams in the women's division that are like strictly they have a name brand to them. Besides the Shayna Baszler team, Pure Fusion Collection,
No Pop Collection. I'm just kidding. All right, next match. This is gonna be a good one. Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre.
Is that a straight fight?
Sin City Street Fight.
Yes,
such a good alliteration. All the S's. Sin City Street Fight.
Yes.
God. And the fact it's called a Sin City Street Fight, like it's gonna be even more dirty because it's so full of sin. You're gonna need to repent after this match. We're gonna have it happens to be on the Sabbath, the day of our Lord and Savior, where we can all be forgiven of our sins, even you, Drew, and Damian. Who do you got winning that one?
Well, that's tough. I like Damian.
I love Damian too.
I would like Damian and give him a push. I liked him when he has a little small run as champion, but I don't know what that does for Drew after that.
I feel like Drew's one of those guys that can lose and still be respected in regard to a wrestler in kayfabe. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He can lose and still he could just crush anyone. You know what I mean? Like he could lose, but it doesn't matter because he can destroy you.
100%. But yeah, I think it'll be a banger of a match, but Damian comes out on top, and I don't know what kind of spiral they'll have Drew's character go into after that. But
they keep trying to write him off as a heel, but I don't think he's a heel.
Well, they're doing I feel like they kind of got him going down the same route as Kevin Owens of just like slowly going just being unhinged.
But I feel like he's not even unhinged though. Like
I loved his run he had with Punk. That was such a good rivalry there.
Well, that was the best match of the year last year was the Hell in a Cell with Punk. That was the best match of the year. The best match of this year, I don't care what anyone says, was Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor on Raw. Do you remember that match? What? It was nonstop the entire time.
No.
Go back and watch that match. Don't be distracted by your phone. Don't be distracted by your computer. Watch that match and watch those spots. Like the last, because the wrestling has the formula where it starts off like action and then you have kind of like a lull in the middle and then you pick it back up right there for the end. I feel like they had that really fast beginning. The lull was not that long. It might have been 2 minutes. It wasn't even a whole commercial break. It was literally, and I think the last 10 minutes of that match was commercial free. And it was like spot for spot for spot for spot. I just remember going, this is insane. Watch it again. Maybe you were looking at your phone. You didn't even realize you were doing it.
I'll rewatch it again, but
it's such a good match. I think it's been the best match this year, hands down. I think if Damian Priest wins, I just see this turning into like another CM Punk Drew situation where they feud for several PLDs. Because I feel like Drew's the character, like the character that they have Drew going is like, he just does not let things go. Yeah. And so I feel like it's going to be grudgy. I think if Drew wins, I feel like they should just wash their hands of this feud after this match. But what does that do for Damian if he loses? I'm not sure. I feel like Damian needs the win to legitimize his presence because Drew doesn't need it. He's going to be around for another 10 years and dominate before we start seeing any sort of.
Drew can go to so many different storylines and it'll just click, but Damian's got it.
Yeah, because Drew's at the level of his career where he can, yeah, like you said, insert himself into a situation and be relevant because he just knows how to tell a story with his words. He just knows the industry.
I think Damian wins for the push.
The fatal 4-way.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Dirty Dom. No.
The best luchador, second best next to El Grande Americano.
Thank you for paying your respects. Thank you.
The unfortunate son of an ungrateful
Deadbeat dad.
father, non-participant father who didn't raise him at all. Dirty Dom Mysterio walks out with his first WWE belt.
You think that's going to be the win? He pins Dom or he pins Finn Balor?
He pins Finn. End of Judgment Day.
God, that would be.
He goes, and then he go after the match. He's like, oh, no hard feelings, Finn, and then Finn just beats the shit out of him.
I haven't even thought about, and my call is that Dom wins, but I never would have thought that he would pin Finn. But that would be amazing.
That's how Judgment Day ends.
So I can see Dom, like if he wins, I can see Finn be jealous and we start to see like the for sure decline, for sure. Like we know it's imminent. We know it's coming like within the next couple months. Yeah, but yeah, if Dom pins Finn, it's definitely over within a couple weeks.
Yeah.
If Finn wins, I can see Finn and Dom having a match for the IC title, maybe at SummerSlam. But yeah, I definitely got Dom winning. I feel like if they keep missing this opportunity,
it'd probably be like another Raw or something like that. That sets up for Dom and Ray 2.0 at SummerSlam for the belt.
Yeah, I feel like they have to. People saying like Penta needs to win. I don't think he needs to win. Like he doesn't need a belt. Does he deserve the belt? Of course. Is he worthy of that belt? Of course. We've seen what Penta's been doing for years. He's not a secret. He doesn't need it. And I feel like it would be another missed opportunity for Dom to get anything. When he almost beat Gunther for the world championship, people almost lost their shit. They almost lost it. He hit him with like 3 like special moves. And then for that final frog splash, people were getting ready. This is it. They were already standing up knowing that was it. And then when he kicked out.
He's such a good character. His heel level is just next level.
I just feel like they're going to miss this opportunity if they don't give it to him. It's really going to hurt Dom in the long run.
I hope not, but
I definitely don't see Braun Breaker winning.
I don't see Penta. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense for anyone but Dom to win.
Yeah. If Dom didn't win, Penta has to win. By Finn losing and not getting it, that does more for his story and turn into something more. Definitely not the face turn, but really start to embrace like really bad guy. The Women's World Championship, Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. Who do you got?
A bloody Ripley.
If we're talking about female
Pure power,
Rushmore, she's definitely when she's done wrestling, she's going to be on the Rushmore of wrestlers, hands down.
She beats Charlotte, Becky.
I agree with
Ronda, Sasha Banks. She beats them. She beats them all. She's the
powerful
if she can stay healthy, she goes down as the GOAT for female wrestlers.
So here are some things that I think separate Rhea from other female wrestlers. She not only is she like a really good size to feel power when she delivers blows, but because of her size and strength, because of her size and her strength, she's able to pick people up and give like these slams that we love about wrestling. And the one thing that separates her from every other female contender is her way to sell. She sells everything so well. When she gets hit with something, she sells the shit out of it. Her facial expressions, she will literally flop to the ground. You can feel the thunder when she falls. When she puts herself into spots, when Bianca Belair, she is talented. She's definitely she's top 2 in the industry right now. And I think Rhea Ripley is better than her in this way. Everything I said about Rhea Ripley, like the way that she's able to get into spots and the way that she kind of sells it. Like if she's injured, like if she took a blow, she'll go into a spot where she's supposed to be for the next like spot. She'll do it in a way where like she's like stumbling into it. You know what I mean? She's like she performs and acts her way into where she's supposed to be. Bianca Belair, she's good and she puts herself into spots. She's a complete professional. Everyone feels safe wrestling with her, but the way that she puts herself into spots, like she kind of like shuffles into it. You know what I mean? Like you can tell that she's like, I need to be here right now. And she shuffles into it. She could have taken a blow and she would be knocked out, but then she'll snap to and like shuffle into the next spot. And I feel like that's what separates Rhea from Bianca. And that's not to say anything negative about Bianca. She's going to be
Bianca's talented as fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
the KOD is one of my favorite finishers. Like everything about her is great. I feel like that, but that's the one thing.
Mic skills are awesome, and they did such a good job of. I think she was I want to say she's the first. She's the first one to. I think she was the first female wrestler to have Dom play the side piece.
Yeah, yeah,
and just work it so well, and then have the way they just when they started the Liv Morgan feud and everything like that, where Dom screwed over Rhea. And that just really set her off. You know, hell has no fury like a woman scorn.
Yeah.
Type of thing. And just her just go out there and just constantly just like beat the shit out of Dom too.
And we finally got to see her put the riptide on him.
Yes.
Which is what we were waiting for. With all the positive things I said about Rhea Ripley, I have Io Sky winning.
Oh, no.
The reason why
Io Sky is just a filler.
I feel like they've been portraying her as this little punk for so long that the only way to justify the way they treated her is to have her win. It's like y'all kept your eyes off of what was going on because of your stupid feud that you guys have. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they could always get distracted and Io could see it. I don't know. I was never Io Sky has just never done it for me. Like I've always been more of an Asuka fan. You know, I was never a fan. I never got into Damage Control.
I wasn't either. I'm just saying. I'm not saying that Io Sky is the better champion, or because I think the fact that what am I trying to say? I think that Rhea Ripley is the best performer and wrestler out of those three, but I think that Io Sky is probably going to get the win is because of the way that they have been treating her and making you think that as a viewer that she's been underrated or undervalued. And I think they'll just have her win.
Yeah, where does Io go? Where does that go from there if Io wins?
I feel that way with all these matches. You know what I mean? And I feel that's WrestleMania is the season finale.
The Monday after WrestleMania is just like a big reset.
Yeah. They could take it any other way. With any of the people that I said, if Rhea won, I'd be happy with it. I'm not going to fight it. I agree with you. I think she's the best. She's right now in the industry. She's in my top 5 favorite wrestlers currently wrestling. The match that we missed, and I can't believe we missed it, was the United States Championship match. LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. How do you feel about Jacob Fatu? You like Jake?
I think Jacob Fatu is a fucking beast.
He's a monster.
Like, I want him to break away from Solo because it seems like that's where they're going. They're trying to. They're giving Jacob a push, and they're kind of pushing Tama and Solo to the side. He's just a machine, dude. He's just all gas, no brakes, baby.
Yada I mean. So the one thing I don't like about what they're doing with Jacob Fatu is that they're trying to push him as a babyface, and I'm not sure if I want that.
I think they're kind of pushing him to where he realizes he doesn't need anybody.
You don't.
Well, maybe they'll do like what they did with Evolution when Batista won the belt and Evolution burned him. I am an LA Knight fan. I do love me some LA Knight.
I love him.
Yeah.
But
give it, and I feel bad because he just got it not too long. He just got back the belt not too long ago. But
I feel like they misbook LA Knight. They haven't figured out how to book him. His chase to the championship is always good. As a champion, I don't brew any good stories with him. This Jacob Fatu thing has been good. LA Knight is such a colorful character that everyone he wrestles just pales a comparison to his aura. I'm torn on this one. I'm going to be excited either way. I'm going to be happy with either one.
I'd be happy if Jacob or LA Knight wins, but I would prefer, if I had to pick, I would like Jacob to win and get his title and just take off. Okay,
so the to be determined match with Randy Orton. Who do you think he is going to wrestle?
Kevin Owens, baby.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens trolls everyone and comes back.
Okay. Who wins that match?
Randy Orton when he punts Kevin Owens' head off. I think here's why I think he's faking an injury. It's if they let Kevin go, have that brutal match at Royal Rumble against Cody, followed by that even more extreme match against Sami with Sami Zayn at Elimination Chamber, and then they continue to build that storyline with Randy. They know he's got an injury, so they had it set up. There's no way that, because everything the doctors know, WWE knows probably before Kevin Owens knows, that it's not bad enough where he needs to sit out. I mean, Seth Rollins had a broken back and still competed in both nights of WrestleMania. Do that and come out 3 weeks beforehand. Sorry guys, I can't, I'm hurt, and just dip out. And to actually have Randy come out, because I don't think that might be wrong, but I don't think anytime a superstars come out and said that they had to leave from an injury, the opponents never come out to meet them.
I mean, that's completely into Randy's anger response. You know what I mean? That's totally heel Randy. Just RKO everything.
Yeah, I think Randy could be playing him to going back to old school Randy Orton, but I think he's doing it to play Randy and to surprise him. So either maybe surprises him on Friday night on SmackDown and beats the crap out of him, or maybe he jumps him in backstage on WrestleMania.
Yeah,
I think it's still Kevin Owens versus Randy Orton, and Randy Orton wins with a punt to the head, something we haven't seen in a very long time.
Have you heard anything in regard to any surprise returns or any suspected returns for WrestleMania? Have you been following anything like that?
I haven't heard anything.
You haven't heard any returns? I mean, I can tell you what I've heard. You have Aleister Black, who's signed with.
I completely forgot about the smoke. I've wondered, because I know Aleister Black was out of AEW, but that new promo that they keep cutting, I think, is Aleister Black.
Yeah. So do you think that he could be wrestling Aleister Black? That's the. I mean, because they're trying to put in your face that he's going to wrestle Nick Aldis. They're putting in your face that he might wrestle Solo Sikoa. That's my only reason why I think that it's not going to be either of those two. Just because if you're trying to give us the shock moment, then
Nick
why
Aldis
would you?
One Aldis doesn't justify a WrestleMania match.
I agree.
That'd be boring. That'd be so boring.
I'm not even completely convinced I'd be excited for a Solo Sikoa match with Randy.
No.
And that's nothing against Solo. I love his character. I really feel like he's found his character within the last year. But to me, that doesn't necessarily get me excited. I like Aleister Black's character a lot. And I think that in this era where he's refined himself in AEW, that he could easily come back and automatically start at upper mid card and build himself up. So I would be more excited about that than any of the three that was
come back.
listed.
I think they come back in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal.
Yeah,
like a pop.
But that's Friday night, right?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, there's a strong possibility that Nick Aldis comes out and says that I have found your opponent, but we were not going to find out until you're not going to find out until that night. Like, you're going to come out and enter, and then they're going to enter as a surprise, which I'm totally cool with. Like, I love that. I just don't want to be let down if it's dun 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 dun.
All right.
This you thought that was your surprise? Just come out and tell me that on SmackDown. If they're going to book it as a surprise, it better be a big surprise.
I don't know. I still think it's Kevin Owens, but we'll see.
All right. Well, let's get into the main event that everyone has been waiting for since Elimination Chamber. So let's talk about, I'll go first on this one. Let's talk about Randy Orton. My buddy had said that John Cena was going to win. Okay. That he's going to beat Cody. Correct me if I'm wrong. My friend Lewis, and I haven't heard this as the actual stipulation. I know that John Cena said that if he wins, he's going to retire the belt. I was under the impression that John Cena was going to win and he was going to defend it on the PLEs leading to his exit and still be championship and walk out the belt. My friend Lewis said that what he means is if he wins the belt, he's walking out of WrestleMania and retiring the belt right there. Is that what you got from that?
It sounds like he's pulling a
CM Punk?
Like a CM Punk, and take my belts and leave.
So
type of thing.
So you're under the impression that he's going, like, if he wins, he's going to walk out of WrestleMania. He's not wrestling again. He's just done. Okay, if that's what you're going to do with John Cena, there's no way that he wins. That tells me that Cody Rhodes is going to win. I don't think that they'll just do that. If that's the stipulation, if that's what he says he's going to do, there's no way that John Cena wins.
He might try and do that, but they might do something else with it.
So that's where I'm getting at. So if John Cena is going to walk out and retire this belt right now, because I just won, I'm John Cena, I'm walking out. Bye. Hope you love the belt. I'm retiring. That's where Randy Orton will be waiting for him at the top of the entrance. He's going to RKO him, and Randy Orton will get his match right there following the Cody Rhodes match.
That's asking a lot.
If it is asking a lot, it's a crazy fantasy book. But if this happens, John Cena gets his number 17. He technically gets it because he won. And then Randy Orton can win. Well, WWE still gets to keep its championship. So if you're looking at the mechanics of how that works, that makes sense. Because if you're telling me that the stipulation is if John Cena wins and he walks out of WrestleMania and you don't see him wrestle again, I am not convinced in the slightest that John Cena wins that match. And what I just said doesn't happen. So that was his thought. That was his booking. So tell me what you think is going to happen.
I think John wins. I don't think he does it cleanly.
Of course, yeah. Okay, so let's do this. Let's play an exercise then. You said earlier, and we're going to play this out as CM Punk is the third member of Rock's organization. What does that look like on night 2? So, but what is CM Punk's role?
He would have to do something. He would have to go out. Maybe John Cena. Maybe the ref's distracted. John Cena takes the belt or a steel chair, and is about to just smack Cody over the head with it. And then CM Punk comes in and either takes it away and stops John from doing that. And then Cody's like, oh, thank you. And then right before the ref gets up, CM hits him with the go to sleep. Then ref gets up, John hits the 5-knuckle shuffle into an attitude adjustment and has number 17. They're all holding each other's hands up.
So you said CM Punk is going to hit John Cena with a chair? No, I got you. I got you. I mean, that makes sense, yeah.
And then CM Punk hits Cody with a GTS. Cody goes down. Cena covers, refs count. Cody kicks out of the GTS. Ref gets knocked down again. John hits a 5-knuckle shuffle, and an AA has another ref running down the stage and pins Cody for the 1, 2, 3 and gets number 17.
Okay.
And then The Rock comes down, and they're like, oh.
What if everything you said comes out? He hits him with the low blow, and then the ref goes out. CM Punk is running out. He's going to save Cody Rhodes. He comes out, gets in the ring, gives John Cena a GTS, knocks him out. And then Cody's trying to keep it all together because he's trying to recover from his balls getting smashed. As he's going for the pin, he picks up Cody Rhodes, GTS him, and the ref is waking up. CM Punk throws John's limp body over Cody Rhodes, rolls out of the ring, ref wakes up, counts it, and then...
Okay, that's definitely a possibility right there.
When he hits Cody with the GTS, that's when the crowd's like, wait, what? No. And then when he puts the final nail in the coffin, he throws John Cena on him, only to do best for business, the big money, because he wants it. And then just so he can wrestle John Cena, who was the catalyst for getting CM Punk out of the WWE to begin with, to get his sweet revenge on John Cena, to make the big money match, because he wants it all. That's not my take, but
well, I guess this might be a little biting off. This might be biting off a little bit from last year's WrestleMania, but before CM Punk gets involved, The Rock gets it. He comes down. You're gonna do what the fuck I want to do, so we're gonna make this match a no DQ match. I run the board. I can do what I want. I'll fire your ass. No DQ. It is. Can't really do anything about it. Then CM Punk comes out.
Okay. So you're talking about last year, like taking the same things with people coming out. But I feel if The Rock comes out, can totally see him doing that no DQ thing. That's going to be dope. But somehow The Rock is still going to be out there. And I think he's going to be schmozzing Cody. There's no DQ. There's already been rumor that someone's going to be coming back to help aid. Who not better than the Texas Rattlesnake comes out, stuns The Rock. You don't think that he's going to get involved at all? I'm sure
it doesn't make sense. He had his opportunity, and I love Stone Cold, but I'm still bitter about this. He had his that he didn't do this last year. Last year was his opportunity to come back.
So I see everything you're coming from, and I think that's what everybody wanted last year. And I think when they heard that, they're like, they loved it, but they probably wanted that shattering glass. You're saying that takes away from this year?
It doesn't make sense.
How does it not make sense?
Because
Stone Cold's the very beginning of Stone Cold, when he started his reign, the birth of the Attitude Era, was him fighting against the owner of the entire.
Yeah, but last year was the final boss. He was the final boss last year.
He's still the final boss now, right? Don't you think?
I mean, yes, he's still the final boss, but I think he was more involved. Like he was more involved in it and everything.
Yeah.
More playing more of the active villain. Just kind of like, popping out for 5 minutes at the Netflix debut and then coming back at Elimination Chamber for 5 more minutes.
Okay.
I mean, granted, if Stone Cold shows up and beats the shit out of The Rock, am I going to be mad at it? No.
Yeah. So I don't know if that's going to happen. I just know that that's like a big rumor that he could potentially get involved. Probably not going to happen. So let me work out scenarios here. So the first scenario I have is that if John Cena wins and the stipulation is that he's going to leave the WWE and not defend the title and walk out and that's it for him, to me, it does not make any sense as a business standpoint to not have him come back and at least make appearances because he's such a huge money draw, whether he's heel or face. It doesn't make sense to me, at least from a business standpoint, to say, okay, John, you're good to go. Unless that was just like pre-arranged. It's a missed financial opportunity for the WWE to just let that. So if that's the stipulation, you cannot talk me into thinking that that's what's going to happen. I think that Cody Rhodes wins with 100% certainty. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I mean, it could happen, but I just wouldn't, if you told me before I saw it, I just wouldn't believe it. Now, scenario 2, if he wins and he still continues to make his appearances, then yeah, I could see him winning because he gets his number 17. He gets to, defend it and he makes out the rest of his dates. WWE gets to make those big money draws for his presence and attendance there. I think it's mutually beneficial for both of them to do that. And then we can also get Randy Orton versus John Cena later, or we can get, or CM Punk versus John Cena later. All these big money matches that like you want to see Cena close out before he leaves. So I could see John Cena winning that way. So here's the thing that I thought about on the way home. There's been this big problem that we talked about that The Rock has not made his appearance since Elimination Chamber. Okay. We're all saying it's a huge missed book. It's a missed opportunity. We don't even know if The Rock's going to be there. There's so many story loopholes that it's not watertight. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
John Cena's not talking about The Rock. Why is he not talking about The Rock? Why was The Rock involved for John Cena to do this? What if The Rock's third member is Cody Rhodes himself? This is what I thought about coming home tonight. So The Rock is not talking to John Cena. John Cena's not talking about The Rock because The Rock's not talking to John Cena. He might have just met up with John Cena right before Elimination Chamber. He's like, hey, if Cody denies me, beat his ass. And that's it. What if that's all that was said? Think about the WWE universe. They mistreated you. He's kind of playing like the devil on John Cena's shoulder. Yeah. He's not really welcoming him into the fold. He's not a part of his group. He's just, take him out. As like a favor to me, as being one of the best in the business. Do this. We're better than this. So he talks to John Cena into just attacking him and going heel and convinces John Cena that he deserves more than what he's been given. All to basically turn Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes has been planning this out. He's made his decision. he made his decision to give The Rock his soul when it was first offered.
Yeah.
John Cena basically loses against Cody Rhodes because he's the third member, and that could be his heel turn. I don't know if you've seen compilation videos of him being an asshole to people, but he can do it. But yeah, if you're asking me that John Cena's going to walk out, I just don't see it. I don't see him winning. And if that happens, and that's the stipulation, I mean, goal is 17, but if that's the agreement that he made with WWE behind the curtain, that I'm done after this, and that's what they wanted to do, then sure. I mean, I guess fine. I just feel like you missed out on a financial opportunity for yourself.
He's not walking out. He's doing something else.
But we'll see. So to say all that, I want John Cena to win. I don't want Cody Rhodes to win, to be honest with you. I feel like Cody Rhodes needs this loss so that Cody Rhodes can evolve a little more. Whether he leans a little harder to be a babyface, or we start seeing these little character flaws that might turn him heel, or just go full-blown heel after this match. I think that Cody Rhodes needs a little evolution at this point. But yeah, that's just my take on it. I want John Cena to win. I think John Cena will win if he's going to stay to the end of when he said he was. But that's basically it, man. I still think we might see Stone Cold come out.
I mean, that'd be cool, but I don't think so.
You'll be getting a text from me when it happened. Hell yeah.